Hello. I wanted to record this here for you today because I had this hilarious little experience that I was like, oh, this is kind of a teachable moment where I was sitting here in my backyard on my laptop doing some computer work and just hopped off a coaching call. I got to be on the receiving end of a coaching call, and then I led a coaching call. All is fabulous. And anyway, I realized that this morning I have been sitting right next to some of my dog's poo. And I was like, oh, it's not that bad. It kind of like, I can only really smell it when the wind is blowing in a certain direction and all that kind of stuff. And then after I was done the calls, I was like, you know what? Like, I can easily just move that poo and pick it up. And so I did, and went on a little mission. As much as we try to convince our dog not to poo in our sort of grassy area in the backyard, she loves to do that. And we like her to poo like in the back forest. We have sort of like a back forest area, and so we kind of collect the poo and bring it to the back forest to decompose. And and so I was like, wow, it's like how we're so used to tolerating, like, oh, it's not that bad. Like, oh, it only smells when the wind's blowing in a certain way. Like, oh, it's, most days are pretty good. And like, oh, it's only, certain situations where I realize like how unhappy I am with this thing, or, whatever it is, what are you tolerating in your life? Like, what is that pile of dog poo that you have been sitting next to, justifying that it's really like not that bad? What is that for you? And also, as I was thinking about this, as I was cleaning up the dog poo, with this being like a teachable moment, I was like, yeah. And like literally, as I'm like shoveling up the dog poo into a bucket, it's like, whoo, it's like even more smelly. And like, yes, there are times when you decide that like, okay, you know what? I'm going to clean up the dog poo. And it does stir some shit up. It does, sometimes it can get smelly. Sometimes it can get kind of worse on its way to getting better. And that's okay. That is okay. One of the beautiful people that I've recently come into contact with, they found my oracle deck in the art gallery on the island where I live. And they said that as they were using their oracle deck, they were able to cry for the first time in many, many years. And they were so grateful to be able to be more connected with their emotions and to be able to like let themselves cry. And even though, we may have this like belief like, oh no, why would I want to cry? Like, crying's bad. It's like when we feel it, we can heal it. When we feel it, we can heal it. And so, oftentimes those emotions that we're resisting, or those things that we're trying to justify or put off to the side, really it's like actually in allowing ourselves to feel the feels, and allowing ourselves to like, stir some things up as we're getting to the work, knowing that it's for a purpose, that's when things really get to shift. And, and now I get to come back to this beautiful spot, and the pile of dog poo is not here anymore. And I just get to enjoy the beautifulness and the sunshine, and listening to the birds, and smelling the beautiful fresh air that does no longer smell like dog poo, right where I'm sitting anyway. So yeah, I just want to reach out to let you know that if you wanted to connect, if you wanted some help with finding your tools to be able to deal with the pile of poo that you've been tolerating for potentially a little too long, and if you are ready to make those positive changes in your life, I am here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for you. There are a bunch of different ways we can connect. I have self-paced courses to help you manage your stress. I have group programs. I have one-on-one connection. I have, different ways of working together. And so you can go to my website to see what some of the options are, meadowdove.ca. And as much as I try to keep my website up to date, I also do send out more information via my email list. So on my website, you'll see that there's a couple ways that you can stay connected in that way. Or you can just reach out directly to me, dove@meadowdove.ca. That's DOVE at MEADOWDOVE.ca. And we can connect and find out what may be in store for you and what you get to enjoy when you no longer have the pile of poo that's sitting next to you and smelling up your immediate environment. How can we turn that poo into fabulous compost and fabulous manure? What do we get to grow with that? What does that get transmuted into so that we can grow this like beautiful garden? All right, I leave you with that. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I'm beaming you love and hugs and high fives and all that good stuff. Mwah.